Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us in beautiful Marrakech. Maybe you can begin with a brief introduction to your film showing here, Kill the Jockey. For people who haven't seen it yet, what can they expect?
What can you expect? Many things. Kill the Jockey is a very audacious, free, creative, magnetic, oniric film that we made with lots of love, boldness. It's about a jockey called Remo. I'm a jockey. I play the jockey, and he dares to jump into this sort of abyss that identity means to everyone, and he goes through a very deep transformation, transmutation up until he is born again. And everything takes place, of course, within the world of horse racing and some Lobster Mafia in Buenos Aires.
Obviously, it's like one of these kind of genre bending films. You kind of got the crime thriller, the surrealism, these dance sequences. Was that all very self evident from the script? And what really drew you in when you first read it?
Yeah, it's hard to describe the film, right? There's no like one genre. It's full of many different things. And I think the film, in a way, even though we might say, "Oh, it's a crazy film, super, diverse," when people say that, I always answer by, our life is full of that as well. When we dream, our dreams are full of that, right? Like arbitrary, crazy, elements that cohabit in such a way that we just take them in without really judging them. But then in our daily life, we always judge our dreams as if that was something out of this world. And it's like half of our lives or a third of our lives. So yeah, the film really embraces that logic, that dreamy logic. When I read the script, all those elements were there in a way because the dialogues are they're like not completely realistic, and they have very subtle, absurd elements. And then because I know Luis, the director, we worked together, like this is the third collaboration we made together. So I knew that all the film was going to be, imbued by music and, with many of those elements that you're describing. And it doesn't really, how do you say, marry any of those elements. It's always like, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I think that's why the film is so surprising, right? The film evolves in such a way. There's nothing to understand, but there's a lot to experience. And the film keeps like giving you like new unfoldings of events, personalities, identities, genres, colors, music. And there's a lot of dance as well. And that's a key element to the film.
And what did your preparation look like? How did you find your Remo? And I guess both in his kind of expressiveness and the psychology of the character, but also the physicality.
I don't know if I approached this film in a particular way. I don't have any method, so the way I prepared for Remo and all the variations that my character undergoes, instinctive, organic. I know those words are like, what does that mean concretely? I had some horse training, of course, riding. We did a little bit of dancing with Ursula Corberó, my beautiful colleague on set, so that we could not choreograph the dances, but just to get to know each other, know how to, connect. Dancing is something that you have to, live. You can't really prepare. Lots of makeup and costume fittings and hairstyle, because of course, the character, when you see the film, knows that it really transmutates, and it needed to be very fine, all the decisions that we had to make. So I think that spending so much time building, this sort of entity that Remo, means in the film, was also a process that I was doing internally and not only externally. And because the film is about that, about the performance of life, about how you represent your human body in this world. So I think that the process was very much about physical and intimate creation at the same time. And with Luis, we've known each other for 20 years. So we speak a lot, but we say nothing, and we understand each other perfectly. There's like a telepathy that really operates on set and before and after. So there's not much to talk about when we do films. We really keep the mystery floating. We evoke things without really naming them. And then when we shoot the film, magic appears and the scenes get built in a way, not magically, but somehow magically.
On that note, what do you think it is about him that makes him such an exciting director? And I guess
Wow.
that collaboration, do you feel like it becomes richer with time? You have a shorthand with each other and it becomes more of a collaboration rather than just sort of that director-actor kind of relationship.
It's like those people that you meet in your life and you're like, where were you? Right? So long. Like it's inexplicable. That sort of connection, intimate connection, understanding of life, or maybe being inhabited by the same questions. And, it's as if the dialogue doesn't happen in a vocal language level, but in a different level. It's hard to explain. And I think that he makes me freer than what I am, and I make him freer than what he is in a way. And we know that we can push each other in such a way that what ultimately will happen will not belong, will neither belong to him nor me. I mean, and you can apply that same logic to the whole group. There's something that happens in Luis' shootings that's very magnetic, it's very sensual, that's very mysterious, that's very simple at the same time. It's not pretentious. It's very much about a movement. You don't really know when things start, when things end. There's like a current that starts to operate, and we're all sort of embarked into that big movement. I think he really loves life. He likes adrenaline. He's always looking for the little accidents that life can, offer us at any time. And for him, I think that the set is a place in which we can dream awake, and that's valid, and that's legitimate, and that's what we're all looking for, We don't have to represent anything. We have to live and experience something. And then the camera will just capture that.
I just think it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I was obsessed with Money Heist, but I also interviewed her recently for Day of the Jackal, and here again, what an incredible turn. What was really fun about working alongside her? And it does feel like you have this incredible kind of chemistry.
Again, it's like those people that you meet and you're like, I've known you for quite a while, even though we haven't met before. Yeah, Ursula has like all the contrasts that live within Ursula are so amazing. She's like the simplest funny girl, and also she dreams about, I don't know, big Hollywood, craziness. And then we could, I don't know, it was very I was very happy that the only scenes that we rehearsed, like properly rehearsed, was the dance. And it wasn't that we were rehearsing, we were just like, throwing some moves to see how the connection would take place. And it was immediate. It was immediate that we were so excited by spending time in the same space with each other. And that's something that you can't really force, And when you have to work, to collaborate with another actor, another actress, that's like the key to everything. And again, Luis is very clever in that sense, very sensitive, because when you put, elements together, you are already configuring what's going to happen afterwards. And I think that casting, not only for actors, but also for the whole crew, is crucial, essential to a shooting. Like, I would say that 80-90% of the film is done when you choose the right elements that are gonna, communicate throughout the shooting. Ursula and me, we think about ourselves together, and we're like, not opposite, but we're so far away. I come from like theater, movie, indie, art house films, and Urso is like doing huge Netflix series, and you're like, okay, how is that gonna, that means nothing. Like soul and deep down, we have so, way more elements that what our facade might show. And Luis saw those elements, saw that communication, that possibility towards a very deep collaboration. And it happened super, easily, organically with Ursula. And we're good friends, and she's like family.
I guess one of those films, you wouldn't say it's necessarily didactic and more sensorial experience, like following Remo's journey. But what do you think it does have to say about freedom, about identity, about societal constraints, and what people can go out the cinema thinking and feeling?
Well, that's something I really appreciate about films. They're not here to teach us things or to, at least the films that I like watching, right? Or to represent the life that we all know or that we are used to. They can also be, again, like a lucid dream, like a new paradigm that doesn't exist in this world. but we'll dream about. We go to the cinema also to see characters that dare a life that we might not dare live. Maybe that's too big. Maybe they just dare do something about, the experience on planet Earth that we might dream of, but then we don't really, practice in life. So I think that Remo, in a way, he embodies like all the characters around him that might be stuck in one, very fixed, steady position of representing the identity that they have been given. Right, like you're a mafia mobster, you are the sexy whatever girl, and Remo is like beyond all that. And the film starts with some sort of absence. We see Remo, and he's sort of absent. He doesn't speak. He's already elsewhere. And then the act, and then we really see him allowing himself to dive deeply into that sort of spiral of ego dissolution, right? Identity dissolution. And he sort of undertakes this adventure of practicing every, avatar that he could ever practice. And he becomes Watermelon Head, we call it, this character that has like new eyes, and he's sensitive to everything, to a bird, to the smell of a hamburger in Buenos Aires, to a choripan, which is like a greasy, sandwich that people eat. And he's sensitive to everything as if he was really being reborn again. And then he becomes this sort of mother that takes care of himself and of the others. And then he turns into a baby. And all those, identities that in a way live within ourselves, right? So I think it's a very audacious and very, he's a character to admire, but not for what he is, but for what he dares do. I don't know, it's hard to talk about experience, human experience, because it doesn't have words. I'm just trying to. What Remo really undertakes in the film is way deeper and bigger, without being pretentious. That's something I really like also about the film. It can be fun, can be playful. Existence can be very playful and very liberating through acts and not ideas.
Obviously, Buenos Aires is also a key sort of character or part of the film, and in terms of your career, I guess, traversing kind of, Argentinian cinema and Latin American cinema, but then also working a lot in Europe. Do you see key differences? Is there something very special to you about working in Argentina? What do you like the fact that you can traverse these different spaces with ease?
I really enjoy working, I wouldn't say everywhere, but I hate borders. I hate, segregation. I hate identity in a way. And this film in a way allowed me to practice that, like this mirroring between being an actor or being the character and dissolving everything that you think you own. And I think in a way, I'm also a little bit Remo in the sense that I want to experience as much as I can before I die, right? I want to try all the characters that life, can provide me with. So the idea of shooting in many different places, I think it has to do with the fact that, and speaking in different languages, it's part of the same journey. And going back to Argentina to shoot a film, it's also a very touching thing because I go back home, but through a film, right? So your eyes get renewed, get refreshed, and the human, connections that you build around the film are always gonna be new, even though it's a place that you know the smell of it. Like true revolution will be the end of borders. And even though it's not the reality, I try to practice that with all the privileges I have, which is some nice passports that allow me to travel, visa permits if I need to. I take that as an opportunity for, openness and deeper, more uncertain connections with the other beings of this world, not only humans.
And I guess Marrakech Film Festival, a perfect place to be, on those topics you're mentioning of the fact that, this is cinema, connecting from the MENA region with Hollywood cinema, bringing the likes of Luca Guadagnino and Jacob Elordi to come and watch films that have been nurtured, in the Atlas workshops here. So there's this amazing cultural exchange. So what do you think? Role can a film festival like this play in that sense, and is that something that we should be working on to bring global voices more to the fore?
This is my second year here. I keep discovering the festival and I keep being surprised by it, which is a good thing. That means that the festival has way more layers than what you might think at first glance. The Atlas workshop that you just mentioned, I think it's crucial. And I think that's one of the really, like, I would say, the key element of this festival, because it really, brings people from many different, backgrounds, and they give them like the opportunity to meet. It breaks those fake walls of separation between people that are already doing films, that are super experienced, people that are trying to make their first, second, third, whatever feature film, short film. So there's something about that family space that is created, and I would say that that's the most important thing. And then we come to show films, and they can come and see our films, and we can go visit. I don't know. I'm going to Atlas later to see some friends that are there. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, the more we can mingle, the more we can break walls. It's part of the same thing. So I think that festivals, for me at least, is about that. It's about meeting people that I never met before, meeting people that I've known their work, but I have never talked to them. I think it's about creating more and more connections. And I'm really, of course, international. So the more we can internationalize the creativeness and the creation of our films, the better it is, because there's some political game to that aspect, right? Stop owning our work, just sharing it, and allow true collaborations to happen.
And very quickly, what are you working on next? What's on your bucket list, maybe beyond that too?
I've got a few films that are coming out soon. A French film directed by Gran Ritz, entitled Fort que le Diable, a Paraguayan film by Marcelo Martinezzi, coming out soon, I hope. I'm reading some scripts that take place in many different countries again. But nothing is confirmed, so I can't really say. I don't want to, burst the bubble. It's aging well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all that with me. Huge congratulations on the film. Really enjoy the rest of the time here in Marrakech. Thank you.